Morning, glory, America. Bonjour, hi, Canada. Greetings to the 300-plus affiliates listening to me, Hugh Hewitt, inside the Beltway in the ReliefFactor.com studio on a rainy Wednesday. Good morning to you. Second day of September. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. Washington Post. China is ramping up nuclear and missile forces to rival U.S., Pentagon says. But this is the major story. It won't get much play. It requires too much mind space when Manhattan Beltway media elites are too intent on hating on Trump. But this is the number one story of the year, the decade, the century, yes, bigger than the virus. China is building up its nuclear and missile forces and is mobilizing vast resources to rival the Pentagon, the Defense Department said in its annual report on the Chinese military power, which concluded that the country's armed forces in certain areas had eclipsed the U.S. military. The report released Tuesday by the Pentagon comes as the U.S. military shifts its focus from the Middle East counterinsurgencies that have dominated its operations for 2 decades towards a possible future conflict with China and Russia in what defense leaders have dubbed an era of great power competition. China's armed forces, the Pentagon said, not only are acquiring sophisticated new technology and weaponry, but also are overhauling their organizational structure as China aims to complete a modernization by 2035 and establish a world-class military that can exceed or rival that of the United States by 2049. Beijing's goal, the report says, then is to leverage its new military might to achieve its foreign policy objectives in the Western Pacific and to assert itself globally. Again, this is the Washington Post, Paul Son. It goes on to talk specifically about the fact that in pure ship count terms, it has passed us. All right, people did not know that. The U.S. has 293 ships. The Chinese have more. Now, they aren't the same quality, of course. They don't have but 2 aircraft carriers, I believe, and I don't think one is fully operational, and we've got a dozen. But China has developed a robust missile force. They have more than 1,250 ground-launched ballistic and cruise missiles with ranges of between 500 and 5,500 kilometers. That's 311 miles and 3,418 miles for the Steelers fan. The United States only has 1 ground-launched ballistic missile with a shorter range, no ground-launched cruise missiles, according to the report. Look, go and read it. It's very chilling. Very, very chilling. On another front, the President of the United States is up early this morning, and he is tweeting. Background to this is that Tucker Carlson ran a tape of Michael Cohen talking with Chris Cuomo. I didn't know they were friends. They are. I don't know how Tucker got the tape. He did. And it was not very flattering to Chris, who I've always gotten along with, a good guy, but I worked with him a few times, and I've seen him in airports and stuff. I don't have any personal relationship with him, but he's always been a professional around me. The president doesn't much care for him. Wilfredo, as he's called, mocked by his critic. Will Fredo be fired by the fake news CNN? He speaks with great disrespect about women. It will only get worse. Fredo's rantings are so bad this time. Always terrible to speak to sleazebags, he's referring to Cohen, especially when you are being recorded. CNN has no choice. Fredo must go. Well, that means he's going to stay. Jeff Zucker's not going to fire him now. The president continues, like Fredo at CNN, the very untalented Joy Reid should be fired for this horrible use of the word Muslim terrorist. Such xenophobia and racism on MSNBC. Anyone else would be gone and fast. Antifa, the Blaze reports, cried in a fetal position after being caught with a flamethrower smoke grenades. Donald Trump says, we catch them all. President says, see, even a Kennedy isn't safe in the new radical left Democratic Party. Taxes up big, no Second Amendment. Biden has completely lost control. Pelosi strongly backed the loser. He adds, this is a new, in caps, and very sick Democratic Party. We will win on November 3rd and make America great again. The president also notes Oregon sheriffs unload on Democrat Governor Kate Brown for trying to use their deputies to quell Portland violence. Trump says some things don't get any crazier. Just call me Kate, problem solved. And he warned about rigged election. He also, well, that's what he did. He's been very busy this morning. I go back to the rundown. The Wall Street Journal has a great editorial, a virus progress report. We hate to be the bearer of good news, begins the journal, but here goes. The so-called second virus wave is receding. has been far less deadly than the first in the spring thanks to better therapies and government preparation. Nobody is suggesting we should now let it rip, but the progress should give Americans more confidence that schools and businesses can reopen safely. And it goes on to discuss it at length. I hope I get back to it. I've tweeted it. I tweet all the big stories of the morning so that you can hear it and be able to go to my Twitter feed and find it. Trump announced an eviction moratorium. All right, Mr. Conservative, Mr. Republican, Mr. Authoritarian, he's preventing anyone from being evicted. It's to make sure that the housing crisis doesn't spread further. So that's an FDR kind of move from the president there. As noted, Ed Markey crushed Joe Kennedy by more than 10 points in Massachusetts. The Bonnie Prince Charlie of American politics, Joe Kennedy, is done. And the president went around in court yesterday, federal appeals court, blocking the immediate release of Trump's tax returns. Meanwhile, Benny Gantz, number 2 in the Israeli government, warns Gaza, Hamas, that a forceful response to waves of incendiary balloons is ahead. The military has altered the balance in exchanges of fire within the Palestinian territory. We changed the equation of the response, he said. In Gaza, they were surprised and realized that we were taking the balloon issue seriously, so we attacked as we attacked. We will continue with both defense and offensive activity. We attacked targets, dozens of targets all over Gaza of varying degrees of importance. Wow. Meanwhile, TikTok deals are snarled over the fate of the app's algorithms. That's sort of the secret sauce, right? The algorithm. And the Chinese government doesn't want you to have it because I think it's going to show that they've been collecting data on your kids. Don't let your kids use TikTok. The PRC-CCP is building a file on all of your kids. Everyone who uses TikTok, you're just telling the Chinese what you like, what you do, what you look like. They'll use face recognition technology on you. It's nuts. Just nuts. I'm going to do the market report brought to you by Birch Gold early because it's so doggone good. Now, remember, I believe in diversification. I have some in cash, my money in gold. I only have one stock. I only own Amazon because I cannot follow the stock market the way the professionals do. I can give it 3 minutes a day. I can read a few stories about one stock. I can decide to get in or out. So I only own Amazon. And I own gold, and I have mutual funds. And so I'm just a boring, my house. I'm just a boring investor. You don't come to me for investment advice. If I just gave it to you. Mutual funds, gold, Amazon, real estate, cash. There. That's the diversification program of Hewitt. But I did say gold, and I do mean gold. And Birch Gold is who I buy gold from as recently as last week. Now, I buy it for the safety deposit box. Some people put their IRA into it, and they roll it over, a portion of whatever they've got in 401k or another retirement program. And you can do the same. Birch Gold will help you. Got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews. You text my name, Hugh, to 474747, or you go to hughgold.com. I'll send you a free information kit on how you protect your savings with gold. Gold this morning is at $1,976. So it's I bought it last week above 2,000. I don't care. I don't buy it to sell it. I don't trade gold. I'm not a day trader. I'm not, like I said, I own one stock. That's for other people who are called to it. Kind of gambling in my view. I buy gold to put it in there and let it sit as the anchor of the portfolio. Yesterday, the Dow went up 215 points. The NASDAQ went up 164 points. The S&P went up 26. And NASDAQ is being led by Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Tesla. It's just going crazy. Overseas this morning, England is up 1.75%. Germany up 2.5%. This is because the world's central banks have decided they're just going to hose the world down with money. Inflation is on the way to save the economies of the world. Buckle up and be invested. Birch Gold, you can find at hughgold.com, and you can find me right after the break back here. I got Don Jr. coming up today and Senator Rand Paul. Going to be an interesting day here on the Hugh Hewitt Show. Thus saith the rundown.
This is Owen Strand for townhall.com.